Okay, you're right. Welcome to equations resulting from a substitution in a formula. So, if you're up to this, it means you've already looked at substituting on a basic level and you've also looked at solving word problems. And when you were looking at substituting, you were actually looking at it where the formula or the subject of the equation was unknown. So now we're going to look at it from a little bit of a different angle. So what you need to be doing is you need to be writing this heading in your book, equations resulting from a substitution in a formula, in red pen, underlining it, and writing all the words that are on this page. So far, like I've said, we've looked at substituting into formulas where the subject of the formula was unknown. So if we were given the equation x plus 2 equals 8, and we got told that x was 6, we've known that we can substitute 6 plus 2 equals 8, and we've proved that the equation is balanced. So what we're going to look at today is something a little bit different. Sometimes when substituting into formulas, we find the value of the subject of the formula is known. So if we were looking, usually we're going to look at it in terms of shapes. But one of the other quantities is not. In such cases as this, substitution results in an equation that needs to be solved. Now, you guys are probably sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, what is Miss talking about? But if you look on in a minute, we're actually going to go through some examples which will hopefully make this make a little bit more sense. So first off, example 1. The formula we use to calculate the area of a triangle is half base multiplied by the height. So we know that as a formula. If I write that formula down here, it'll be A equals half BH. So area equals half base multiplied by height. So if a triangle has an area of 15 metres and a base of 6 metres, what we can do is we can substitute the values into the formula to form an equation, solve it, and then work out what the height is. So the first thing we need to do, guys, is substitute, okay? And we know that the area is 15, okay? And then we need to go half. We know the base is 6. Actually, I might write this out a little bit different for you. If I go half, I'll actually put the multiplication signs in because you guys recognise that that's base multiplied by height, because when there's nothing in between them, it just means multiplication. So half times the base is 6 times the height. Okay, so 15 equals half 6 times height. Now the next thing we need to do is simplify. So we go 15 equals half 6 times h. Okay, half times 6 times height. Another way that we can write that is 3, because half of 6 is 3, 3h. So then it's simply a matter of dividing each side. You can now see, guys, this is now a simple equation. We can now divide each side by 3. 3. So they cancel each other out. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So we can actually write our equation that the height is equal to 5 metres. Okay, so what we've done there, step 1, write out the formula. Step 2, substitute. Step 3, simplify. Step 4, solve. Step 5, we've written it out because the question is asking us to find the height. Okay, find the height. Okay, I've written it out in a word problem because that's how we were presented with it. Secondly, we've been working in metres, so we need to present our answer in metres. I could have written the whole word metres, but my stylus was just playing up a bit, so I just wrote M. So 5 steps. 1, write out the formula. 2, substitute. 3, simplify. 4, work it out. 5, write your answer as a whole, as a sentence or a whole formula. Okay, next example here, guys. It says the area of a trapezium is calculated by the formula A equals half h brackets x plus y. In this formula, A obviously equals the area. We can tell this from a first sentence, area A. A equals area. Half h in this formula is the height between the parallel sides, and x plus y are the 2 parallel sides. So it says, find the height of a trapezium that has parallel sides of 8 and 12 and has an area of 60 centimetres squared. So again, guys, first step we need to do is we need to write out the formula. Area equals half h x plus y. Half h x plus y. First thing we need to do, guys, is substitute. So we have a few values. We have 60, because we have the area, equals half. We don't know the height, so we'll keep that in there as h. 8 plus 12. Now I could have written 12 plus 8. I could write 8 plus 12. It doesn't really matter, okay, because they're both in brackets. So it's saying half of the height multiplied by anything in those brackets. So I could have written 8 plus 12 or 12 plus 8. It really wouldn't have mattered. So again, we do the same thing. We now simplify, step 3. We simplify, same as the last equation. Okay, 8 plus 12, 20. So half h multiplied by 20. Now, where did I get that multiplication from? This half h is sitting directly next to these brackets here, which means this multiplied by everything within this bracket. So my equation now becomes half h times 20, because that's 8 plus 12. Next step, we start solving. Half of 20. Okay, so I'm saying half of the height of, another word for multiply, half of the height is 20. So the full height would be 10. Half multiplied by 20 is 10. Half of 20 is 10. So 60 equals 10h. Then, guys, it's just a really simple equation. Some of you guys like to flip it around at this point, which is fine, because remember, what I do to one side, I do the other. Our equations are like scales. So I can say 60 equals 10h, or 10h equals 60. Then we divide it by 10 on this side, divided by 10 on this side. Those cancel each other out. That equals 6. So my final step is the height of the trapezium. The height is equal to 6 centimetres. What are my steps there? 1, write out the formula. 2, substitute. 3, simplify. 4, work it out. 5, write it out as a sentence, including whatever relevant measurements. If it's given in centimetres, I'm giving it back in centimetres. If it's asking for the height, I'm giving the answer back in height. And that's it, guys. That should be enough to help you do the exercises.